Ever felt like you're living a double life, trying to be one person at work, another at home, and yet someone else entirely in your social circles? It's exhausting. I know. I lived this for years. And the worst part, it's holding you back from the life of purpose and impact you're meant for. What if I told you that the key to living a more fulfilling, purpose-driven life lies in unifying who you are everywhere? It's time to break free from compartmentalizing and discover how integrating your faith and true identity can unlock the fullness of the life that God has planned for you. Let's dive in and find out how. Hey friend, my name is Wallace, and for the last decade, I've been helping Christian men in leadership uncover and embrace their true identity in Christ. Through my coaching and personal experience, I've seen the struggle that comes with living a divided life. But here's the good news. There is a way to bring every part of your life into alignment with your faith. You were made to live as one whole integrated person where your faith isn't hidden, but shines through in everything that you do. I have a confession to make. We have this one drawer and cabinet in our kitchen underneath our coffee machine, and it's full of junk. Literally, it is the catch-all of our entire house. It has batteries, miscellaneous mail, headphones, sunglasses, a pack of gum, earplugs, and a broken microphone. This is truly embarrassing to share, but if you got honest, I'm sure you have a junk drawer, cabinet, maybe even an entire junk room. No judgment, I'm just being real here. Can I get a witness? My point in this story is that oftentimes our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. A lot of times we are stuffing and compartmentalizing and keeping our public and private lives separate. So I want to ask you, what rooms of your life are you keeping private from the world? Or a flip side of that, what areas of your life are you not letting God into? Today, we're diving into bringing every part of your life into alignment with your faith. I'm going to show you how you can turn everything you do into worship, transforming your entire life into a testament of God's glory. I remember there was a time when I was struggling to connect my faith with the rest of my life. I thought I had to be one person at church and another person everywhere else. But then I learned about the Hebrew mindset versus the Greek mindset. Now I want to show you, you've probably been wondering why I have these 4 diagrams behind me. But I really want to talk about this idea of the Greek mindset first. See, the Greek mindset is a separation, the sacred, the secret place, the Sunday morning. That would be this private circle of our lives. And then we have the secular, which is everything else, our everyday life, everything that the world sees. Then there's a completely different mindset, the Hebrew mindset, where everything in the earth is supposed to be redeemed. There's not this public versus secular. It's that the public and secular are impacted by the spiritual life. Would the world know you follow Jesus by the life you're living outside of church, outside of your private prayer life? It's not about separating the sacred and the secular, but about redeeming every part of life for God's glory. You see, Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. That was a wake-up call when I first read that. You see, the problem is many of us are trapped in that Greek mindset. We are trapped in separating the secular and the spiritual and the everyday. We've been conditioned to think that our faith is supposed to be a private, this area, or our prayer closet only. And our work lives and social lives are supposed to be public for all to see. But that division isn't biblical. God has called us to worship Him in everything that we do. See, the problem with society when we live this Greek mindset is that values now have become subjective to the knower. When does that happen? When has foundational truths, values, core beliefs become subjective to the knower? Our biblical perspective should overflow and guide our everyday life. It's beautiful. If you come back to the diagrams, this is that Greek mindset. A lot of us live a separated life where our private, sacred, spiritual life is separate from the rest of things. But as you start maturing in your faith, you begin to integrate. You begin to see a merging of your spiritual and your everyday, and this is beautiful. the more they intertwine, hopefully you will finally get to a space where you live a completely integrated life where both the spiritual and the everyday coexist. See, this divided mindset we face comes from a misunderstanding of what it means to truly follow Christ. Many of us grew up believing faith belongs only in church, or maybe in a family setting, but not in the boardroom or a social circle or an everyday walking out. But this Sunday-only faith robs us of the fullness of life as living a true disciple of Christ. But God has called us to be living sacrifices, worshiping Him with our entire lives. When we build walls around our faith, we limit what God can do in and through us. If we continue to live this divided life, we risk missing out on the fullness of what God has created us and called us to. We miss out on the joy, the peace, the satisfaction that comes from being completely aligned with Him in every area of our life. See, Ephesians 6:7 reminds us to serve with a good will as to Lord and not to men. And Romans 14:18 says, whether we live or whether we die, we are the Lord's. If God isn't allowed to touch every room in our life's house, we end up building walls that hinder our growth and the change in the lives that we can save with the life that we've been called to live. A lot of people are saying, Red, I just don't have purpose in my work. I find this really relevant in our society today because people, maybe you included, are looking for your job to give you purpose. Your job doesn't have the ability to give you purpose. You're demanding something that is unattainable of the world. It can't give you purpose. Your Creator is who gives you purpose. And you're called by God to bring that purpose into the world. I can't just look at my job to bring me joy because God is the only one that can bring me joy. I can't look at my job to give me peace because God is the only one who can bring me peace. Our problem is that we have put our spirituality, our faith in God and our life with Christ into a box, locked it away in private, when we only cry out to God when a reason to cry. I know you've probably been there. You either coming to church maybe once or twice a year, which I'm, again, not judging you. When we are living our entire life searching in the wrong places for what only God can give us in living this spiritual life. It's integrative. What if we began to live life differently? More importantly, how? How, Red? How do we overcome living this double life? I'm so glad you asked because this is probably why you clicked the video in the first place. Here are 3 steps to overcome. Number 1, identify your split lives. Ask yourself, where am I living 2 separate lives? Where am I living like this? Write those areas down and pray for God's wisdom and clarity to recognize where He's been shut out. Take some time today, maybe this week, and really reflect on which areas of your life you've kept separated from God. It could be your work, your finances, or even certain relationships. Let God show you where He's been shut out. Remember 1 Peter 4:11, whoever serves as one who serves by the strength that God supplies in order that in everything God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. And then number 2, we've got to invite God into every room of the life of our house. Begin to live and integrated. Now, I understand when you first start walking this out, it's going to be a little integrated. You're going to build and grow and get a little more, but this complete integration, not living separate lives. I want you each morning, commit your day to God every meeting, every interaction, every person that you meet. Carry the mindset that everything you do is a chance to reflect the love and grace and mercy of Jesus. Every moment and every task can be an act of worship. Everything can be an altar. I love this concept, and I might make a video about that in the future, but literally everything we do can be made into an altar to worship and glorify God. 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. Start your day by asking God to guide you in your conversations, your decisions, your intentions, and even your leisure time. And then that 3rd step is use your gifts with integrity. How are you using the gifts that God's given you? Are you pursuing success for vanity, selfishness in a way that dishonors God? Are you cutting corners to get where you want to go? Or are you pursuing success through a lens of Jesus, through a lens of service. Remember that true prosperity is found in integrity and stewardship, not just in wealth. It's not about how much we can accumulate and accomplish, but how we get it, use it, and share it. Open-handed. May we live a life of generosity. May we live a life that's open-handed with our gifts, with our resources, so that we can serve and bless others collectively. Are you obtaining your success honestly? Are you being a good steward of what you had? Are you sharing generously? This shift in mindset allows everything you do to become worship. Today, I challenge you to take one bold step towards breaking down the walls dividing your life. Invite God to the places you've kept separate, whether it's in your career, your social life, or even your thought life. Start by committing one small area to Him and watch how He transforms it from the inside. Let me know in the comments which area you are inviting God into today. And if this video spoke to you, really resonated with you, and you want to go deeper, check out this video next, where we talk about what does God truly say about the work that we do. And I'll see you in that video.